Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Adobe Live here on Behance. I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Your Tuesday is definitely about to get a whole lot better because Susanna Rumiz is joining us for our live stream today. Susanna, welcome to Adobe Live.
Hello. Hello, thank you so much.
It's so lovely to be with you. And I know that when the team mentioned that you'd be streaming this week, I jumped at the chance, as I absolutely adore your work, honestly. So we're going to get into this today, let everybody know a lot more about you. And today, of course, the topic, everybody, as you can see, is that we're looking at how personal projects can lead to some paid work. And so we'll get to explore some of Susanna's projects and learn more about process and that kind of thing, and of course ask any questions that you have along the way. Let us know. Susanna, we are always joined by the best company in the UK. I've got to say, like, honestly, we've been a family for a couple of years now, and it brightens, honestly, I smile every time I see everybody coming back. And so a quick hello to everyone that's joining us. Angus, hello. Karina's here. Linda as well. Linda, I was saying that I got to meet you at the event that we had in London, which is absolutely brilliant. Oliver, Sandrine, Sean, Tim, and Umbercorn as well. So we have a full house today. And yeah, Susanna, you're dialing in from Italy. So yeah. I'm sure that it's just absolutely beautiful where you are. We've got a few thunderstorms over the UK at the moment. How is everything with you, and how are you doing today?
Oh, it's great. And thank you for the invitation. It's super exciting to talk to you and show you a personal project that I've been working on recently. And yeah, I decided to choose this topic because it's one of the most effective ways for me to find new clients and new jobs. So I think it could be interesting to just to share it with other artists. And yeah.
Brilliant. And we can put your Behance profile in the chat today because you've got a lot of your work on Behance. And please let everybody know a little bit about you as an illustrator, right? Because you're a freelance illustrator. How long have you been doing this for? And what's your favorite project to draw?
Well, I've been working as a freelance illustrator for the past 10 years, and I started working in the publishing industry, so mainly for children's books and magazines. But then I noticed that my style could be used on a wide variety of projects and products. So I started creating art for games, motion graphics, or packaging. And I think that's the most interesting aspect of this job, the fact that illustration could be used in on so many projects and different products, and that the possibilities are really endless. So I think that's really exciting about our job.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting in the way that if you're drawing things that you love doing, like projects that you love, then it really comes through in your work, which can lead to more work and more of doing what you love, which is what I love about the topic of this stream today. And so let's dive in. Let's look at your process and how you get started.
Sure. In the past 10 years, I've tested so many ways to find new clients and new jobs. And I think that what worked the most for me has been be the first to create the kind of work I want to be hired to do, and then share it on my platforms, on social media, or also send it directly to clients that could be interested. And not only because you can show your creative skills and style, but also because you can show to potential clients that you are able to manage an entire project in a professional way. So, for example, working with a specific color palette or if you, for example, work on a picture book, you can show that you are able to draw a character in different situations, or also using mockups and show your work on an actual product. I think it's helpful for a client to see and understand, okay, this artist knows what they're talking about, and they're not only good at their style, but also at managing an entire project. So yeah. And okay, so today I wanted to share with you the last personal project I worked on. And in this case, in my bucket list, there is an app. I don't know, I wanted to create a series of illustrations for an app. And so I immediately thought about something related to animals or pet care, but I wanted to add something funny element or something different than usual. And so I chose to draw a series of illustrations for pet care, but not for normal pets, but for dinosaurs. So it's the funny element inside. And so I started usually, when I work on a personal project, I give myself like a brief. So I decide, I give myself a deadline. I decide a number of illustrations I want to make, and I'm my own client. So I decide how many illustrations I want to create in how much time. And
That's good. Yeah, because with personal projects, you could easily push it to the back and not have a time limit on it, and then just go to it whenever you can. But if you're actually so dedicated, that is the best idea. Yes.
For me, personal work is part of my self-promotion. So at the beginning of the year, I decided to schedule 4 hours a week to use only for my personal work, and it's something that is not negotiable for me, because for me it's like an investment to find new clients and new work. So it's something that not only I want to do, but I also need to do, because if you want to work as a freelancer, self-promotion needs to be part of your weekly routine. So and it doesn't mean it needs to take you too much time, because personally, I don't work more than 5-6 hours a day, and I'm able to manage both client work and personal work, because I'm super focused when I work on my art, both for client work and my personal work. And so when people tell me, but I don't have the time, or I can't find the time to work on personal project, I think they are struggling to manage their time in an effective way, and maybe they have too many distractions, and I think it could be done, but you need to be able to manage your time and be aware of where your time goes. And
it's
I think that's the deadlines.
It's boundaries. It's setting a boundary to say, I am not working at this point. This is important to me. And this time is protected for this thing. And Susanna, I've got to say, Sandrine in the chat says, I love Susanna's work. Jack loves the dinosaurs.
Oh, thank you.
Karina says, lovely work. And Angus says, great colours and work. So it's and people are also agreeing about the setting boundaries and getting stuff done. So
Okay, so I'm going to show you a bit of the process. And usually my sketching process, I do it on paper, so on my sketchbook. And then I scan everything and I finalize the illustration digitally or on Photoshop or Illustrator. In this case, I prefer to use Illustrator. So when I sketch, I first start a bit in a random way, just, I don't know, trying different things. And then I decide, okay, I'm going to use this character for the cover or for an icon or for, I don't know, other elements. This one I try to put the illustration inside a screen because the idea is to make it an app. So I wanted to understand if it worked. And in this case, the struggle was that I tend to put too many details inside my illustrations because usually I work on picture books or other kind of illustrations. So I realized only after that if you look at it on your tablet or the phone screen, a lot of the details you're not seeing them, and so I had to simplify the illustration and find another way to. After the initial sketches are done, like I said before, I scan everything and I refine the sketches digitally. And so, for example, I choose these 4 illustrations for something like little icons. But then, as I said, I realized that there were too many details and I had to simplify.
Yeah.
And then I take all the sketches and I immediately start to finalize and to color them. Usually, in this case, I do I make some little thumbnails where I test the color palettes. In this case, I use only I used the first color palette I tried because I liked it. But usually I try different solutions and different color palettes before deciding a definitive.
How did you decide on the colors? Because normally when you think of dinosaurs, difficult. You think of like greens and grays and, you think of those types of colors. And this is so different as well. You've got pinks and yellows, and I love the palette you've got.
Thank you. That's my favorite part of the process, when the sketches are done and I can play around with different color palettes. That's my favorite part. And I don't know, because it's really an instinctive process. I just, try different things and see what happens. Usually I use complementary colors because they create a nice contrast. Yeah. And then, sometimes it's nice to include a neutral color, like a gray or something more lighter, and use it with a more bright color, like in this case.
Love it. And I've got to say, the chat is so funny. Sandrine is she says, because it's dinosaurs on the phone.
Yeah.
Here we go. Where is it? I think it was Tinder for dinosaurs. She's called it Tindos. Very good, Sandrine. Very good. And just a reminder to everybody, if you have any questions for Susanna, pop them in the chat and I'll make sure we get them asked. So, and if you're watching on YouTube, come over to Behance and let us know the questions in the chat.
Yes. And I've never worked on an app before, so it was a nice. It was nice to just play around with the shapes or the different elements. I don't know. It's not my job to do the I don't know, how do you call it, the layout or the,
like the wireframes that they build in like the artboards that they build in XD, for example, which
yes exactly. But
and the wireframes. No, this looks like you're a pro at it though, Susanna, honestly. Like you've thought of the buttons, the experience.
Yeah, and obviously I at the beginning, before starting with the sketching process, I went online and just I don't know, look at what already exists. I looked at a couple of pet care apps, and simply how they are structured and the different categories or the icons they use, and then try to adapt to my dinosaur topic. And it was fun also because I love working with the composition or testing different compositions, and so that includes icons and the little elements at the bottom. Well, it was, I had a lot of fun playing around with them. These are the series from before that I decided to color. And yes, and this is another series of 3 different dinosaurs that I imagine, like the user doing creating a profile for their dinosaur, so with a name and
see, this is
the same I do for my cat.
This is so good, Susanna, because this is a personal project, but you've laid it out in such a way that anybody that would be looking to set up something like this, like a children's app or a gaming app or a story or whatever it is, because of the way that you've laid it out in the phone screens, so that you can see how it could become an app. This is exactly how this type of thing could lead to work, because you can see how it would be in reality. So this is so good. And I did see as well that when you posted your 3 dinosaurs on Instagram, I think you'd asked people to name them.
Yes.
Did you get reply? Did you get?
Sure. It was Ben, Theodore, and then Susie. But since I am Susie, I decided for Bonnie that she's my cat. So,
I love it.
I think,
and that's where the names
really
came from. Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
And what else? And it really didn't take me so long to do this project, because usually I give myself 1 month to work on a project, because I know that I get distracted by other things, other ideas. So I don't think that working more than a month is helpful for me. I know that I have 4 hours a week that I use for my personal projects. So in this case, I spent a month roughly. So it wasn't so long.
And then how did this then take off? Because this was a personal project that you started. Did you then start marketing this? Obviously, Behance, Instagram, that you could see your work, you can see these dinosaurs from those accounts. Did you also, email this to people, send this to people? Like, how did you market?
Well, in this case, for this specific project, I've just finished it. So right now I share it on Behance, and I shared part of the work in process on my Instagram. But I'm going to share it on my website and other platforms. And I did the same for a couple of other projects that maybe I can show you. Let's see. This one.
I love your style, I love it. The fact that it's just the colors, you could see that this is your work. When you look at it, you're like, this is Susanna's work.
Oh,
Love
thank you. That's great.
it.
And I did the same for this project. Just the first thing I did was working on this sort of, I don't know, pattern thing. And then I thought, oh, wow, it would be great to use it on packaging. And I created the packaging and a menu because it looked good on something related to food. Or there was a couple of other projects that I just share online on all my platforms, and then a couple of clients reached out to me, asked me for exactly that kind of work, and it was really weird at the beginning because I didn't think that it could be effective. But then I understand that if you show the kind of work you want to be hired for, people, this is another example of a personal project, just a series of three illustrations. Or another.
You've got some favorites here. So I've got to check. My favorite's your New York project that you did. It's like a gorgeous illustration for New York. But also I think it was Luca in the chat mentioned, is it Veggie menu? Veggie is menu?
Veggie, yeah. It was about vegetables and yes.
Perfect. And then Sandrine loves your Atlantide project. But yeah, New York one, that one that you just showed there, I love that. I just think it's so New York, it's brilliant.
Yeah, and also this one about the egg packaging was fun because I just draw over a photograph and I share it, and the client reach out to me for exactly this kind of project. So
amazing.
It's always
excellent,
interesting,
you might say. Awful.
Okay, and what else? Well, I think that the main struggle that people have with personal projects, like we said before, is finding the time to do it. I think there are a couple of suggestions that I wanted to give. Like we already said, it's about setting deadlines for your personal project, and then don't try to do something too big, but just keep it simple, very simple, because if not, you end up working for an entire year on a project, and then at the end of the year you're just tired of it and you don't want to share it anymore.
Well, with your personal projects, right, are they new every time, or do you ever revisit old personal projects? And kind of like do you revisit them at all, or do you think?
Sometimes it happens, because rarely, because if I look at my work 3 months ago, from 3 months ago, rarely I'm still happy about it. And so this is also why I always create new illustrations, new work for my portfolio, because my style constantly changes, and also the kind of projects I want to do. So recently, no, sorry.
No, you go. I'll ask.
For example, recently I'm trying to shift from children's books to illustrations for websites, or like in this case apps or other kind of products, just to do something different,
mix it up a bit. Good idea. You can definitely expand your repertoire of all the things that you do. And my question was going to be around tagging things on social media or Behance, because a big way of people finding new work or new things is all about the tags. Any hashtags for dinosaurs or whatever. And so do you find that when you're creating a personal project, do you tag it in a way, do you follow a process for tagging assets? And and images and things, or any tips?
Well, I don't have a specific process, but I use tags and on any on all the platforms I use, because I think it's the way the algorithm or what else is able to find the work. And also for my website, I'm super careful about the search engine optimization. So I take care of naming my files and give it descriptions or tags when it's possible, because it's the way it could be. Then it will be found on the Google search. So I think it's super important. And I know that Behance gives you a lot of tools to do the same thing. And it's something that I always suggest to do, especially on social media. And also because I don't know right now, but I think that the Google search engine can't see inside social media, because obviously they are two different companies. So if you share your work on social media, you can expect that people from outside or that use Google can find it. So that's also why I think it's important to have a website outside of social media and not using only Instagram or Facebook as a portfolio, because
Yeah, you're right. Because there's so many different ways that people can find your work, and it's just having that as much consistency as you can so that people can find all of this amazing, these amazing projects. And for personal projects that you work on, like, is there, do you have big dreams coming up of projects that you've seen that maybe have started as a photo shoot, or it could be something in photography that you're going to maybe animate slightly differently? Like, is there any kind of, any plans to go
down? Animation, I really love adding animation to my illustrations, but it's something that it takes a lot of time. And so if it's something really small, I like doing it. For example, there was a series of illustrations I created for a magazine, and they for advent calendar, and they asked me to animate one of the illustrations, and so it was super cool to work on this, but it takes a lot of time. So
different kind of project, isn't it? But it's good to have that.
Yes,
you've done
exactly.
it, you've got the example of it on the wall, it's all there, isn't it? What was your favorite project? You shared a few of the projects with us, and definitely in our chat people have shared their favorite project. What was your most favorite out of everything?
That's too difficult. I can't answer this question.
It's hard, I guess. I mean, the dinos, lots of love for the dinosaurs. Oliver's just put #love dinos.
Yes.
He loves it. It's so good. I love the fact that they're already in like a mobile phone screen, so you can already see what you were building there. I love it. Absolutely love it.
And well, maybe a personal project that I'm really proud and super happy about it. It's not something that it's not an illustration, but it's another kind of project. I don't know if I can talk about it. A couple of years ago, I started this page on Instagram where I wanted to share my experience as a freelance artist and to help other creative people. Find better ways to find clients, to manage all the struggles and different and difficult aspects of our job. And so it was super interesting because I found a lot of people is interested in talking about not only the creative aspect, but also the business and the more I don't know, how do you say? Yeah, the business part of the job and all the things around finding the clients and pricing the work and staying motivated and and so I'm happy that I was able to create a little community of people super interested in those kind of topics. And the project then evolved, and I started a newsletter that on these specific topics. And then this year I started working directly with several illustrators and being like a mentor for them. And it was amazing to see to have the opportunity to work directly with them and help them grow their career and find better ways to reach out to their clients and managing their time. And so it's something that I want to keep doing it. And in the future, I think I'm going to keep obviously working as an illustrator because it's something that I really love. So I don't want to give up on that, but I want to split my business into freelance, illustration, and mentoring at the same time. So
I love that. Yeah. I love that because the business part is actually the hardest part to figure out. There's so much, and especially if you're, completely devoted to the creative side and doing all of this, then there's a whole other side of things to think about. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the hardest things actually is marketing your work, because it can feel a bit exhausting about constantly saying, hey, look at this, hey. And it is exhausting. So how would people reach out to you then to, for you to be a mentor? Do you have do people contact you on social media, contact you via Behance today?
Usually they first sign up to the newsletter, and then from there is the option to sign up for the mentorship. But right now I closed the mentorship because I'm launching a course in October, because after working one-on-one with several illustrators, I realized that because what I want to help them is to set a goal, and usually it's something related with their income, because they want to make more money doing their job as a freelancer or managing their time better. So usually what I do is help them set a goal and then help them understand what is the best strategy to get there. But I realized that what almost everyone struggles is is a lot of insecurity and self-doubt, and believe that they are not good enough to reach the goals they want. And so I realized that they want to reach the goal, but at the same time they have so much insecurity that they struggle. The struggle becomes even more. It becomes even more difficult to reach the goal because you have all that self-doubt. So I decided to help them first manage their mindset, and so give them the tools to be able to manage anxiety, because I know that I personally suffered a lot of anxiety. So I know that a lot of people deal with the same negative emotions. And so since I found a way to almost get rid of them, I know that I can teach the same process to other artists. And so I think I want to
Love it.
to first help them manage their mindset, and then, okay, next year we're going to set a goal, and you're free to put your strategy into practice without being stuck by your self-doubt or insecurity.
Yeah. I love that. And I love the fact that you're giving back in that way as a mentor to other creatives, because you're right. A lot of it's mindset. A lot of it's mindset. And also, you know, if you haven't had a big break yet, if you haven't had, you know, a really successful piece of work, and to keep going at something that you feel is, you know, it's not, you know, you're not achieving anything, then that's the hardest thing. So you're right.
Yeah.
You know, set boundaries, set goals. You know, definitely, you know, I think I love the fact that you're giving back to the, you know, mentor.
Oh, thank you.
It's
yeah,
lovely.
especially because a lot of us work as a freelancer works from home, so we are at home alone, and it's the worst place to keep us motivated in the long run. So I think that working with someone or with a group of other creative people who has the same goals, the same obstacles, and can help a lot of them to get better results, and to in less time also.
Yeah, and in the chat, you know, people are completely agreeing with you and saying, you know what, it is hard because you're working all these hours. Like Angus says, you know, you're on your own, and also that you're doing your own stuff, so you know where the weak points are, and that's all you see when you publish it. Yes, Angus, I completely agree. Sandrine loves this as well and says, you know, are you doing this on a platform or through your own website? I think you've paused the mentor thing for now, as you said. You know, you've got a course coming out, but potentially there's time to bring out the, you know, the mentoring another time.
Oh, yeah, yes. Yes, right now I have so many things that I want to do that I need to do one thing at a time. So
you're in demand now, Susanna.
Yeah, all by myself. So so for now I'm focusing on the course that I'm going to launch in October, and after that, yeah, I probably I don't know.
Yeah, well, there's lots of people asking in the chat, so it's great. And tell us a little bit more about your course. Like, what's the course made up of?
It's a 4-week course that it's for the entire month of October, and yes, it's 100% focused on mindset, and especially on dealing with anxiety, because I remember from my experience, I remember waking up with like the anxiety that I didn't have the money to pay my rent or my taxes, and it was like the worst feeling ever. And then I learned how to be aware of it and to be curious also about it, and I found a way to 2 years ago, I worked with a coach that helped me understand why my anxiety was there, and also manage it, how to manage it in order to reduce it. And also, as soon as the feeling comes up, I now know that it's there for a reason, and I immediately know how to manage it and to get rid of it. So it has been a long process, because obviously it's like going to the gym, so you have to do it constantly every day, especially because you are trying to override an whole habit that you have done for so long, for years. And so it's not so simple to just okay, let's get rid of anxiety. No, it takes time and a lot of practice and daily exercise. But I think that if we do it together, like if you have someone that gives you the tools and tells you, okay, you can do this exercise and do it every day, I think it's you can reduce it and also be able to manage it. So
definitely, it's a long process, really, isn't it? It's not a one and done, quick fix. You know, it's
well. My goal is to, at the end of the month, give people the tools to do it. But then obviously it takes time because it's something that you need to put into practice every day. But I know that if you do it, you for sure are going to have results. And this inevitably then reflects on your results, because obviously when your anxiety goes down, you are less overwhelmed, less tired. You have a lot of more energy, because when you are only focused on your anxiety and you are worried about everything, you spend a lot of your energy on that. And so you have you have less energy to put into your work and in your creative work.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that then is going to reflect on your career and your results. In my case, when I decided, okay, I don't want to be anxious anymore, and I find a solution, in the past 2 years, I was able to double my income from one year to the other, and only because I was less focused on my anxiety and more focused on my work, on my career, on self-promotion. And when you have less insecurity and self-doubt, you are also less afraid of failing, being rejected, and receiving a no from a client. And self-promotion is not becomes something more easy to do and not so scary.
Oh yeah, it's freeing, isn't it? Just to be able to, you know, to lose that worry. And you talked about self-promotion, and there was a question in the chat which was, came up a little bit earlier about contacting publishers and people directly with your work, with the, you know, personal projects. And so it can be definitely scary reaching out to big publishers, big companies. But have you ever contacted them via email to say, hey, have you to look at what I've done? Like, how have you gone about that? How have you gone about finding who to contact and how?
Online you find a lot of information about especially publishers or magazines. You can go to their website and find they usually have a page where they give illustrators or authors information about how to submit your portfolio or your project. So you can go directly there and find an email to where you can send your work. And I usually reach out to, especially to publisher through email, or before the pandemic, I also tried sending postcards, and it worked. Because I remember an art director that replied to me saying, I just received your postcard, and then it was nice.
I love that, because it's also something that when you get a postcard, something lovely like that, it will go on the desk, or they'll see it. It won't be necessarily put away in a drawer. It's a little pretty postcard. People always want to decorate their offices and their desks and stuff. So what a good idea. I love that. Yeah, absolutely love it. Any other tips for people you think that are reaching out to you know, prospective you know, companies for work? What other tips would you give?
Well, I think that before reaching out, it's helpful to understand who you're trying to target. For example, if you want to work in a specific niche, or I don't know, if you want to, I'm thinking about children's books. Maybe you want to work on a specific target age of books, and so you can narrow down your the clients you're going to reach out. And so I think it's more effective when you have a specific niche to reach out to, or I don't know. I think being very clear about what kind of work or projects you want to work on, it's then helps you understand, okay, I want to do this kind of project, so I'm going to reach out to a specific client, and your self-promotion is going to be more effective.
Yeah, you've got a question on this from Sandrine.
Yeah.
It says, when it comes to marketing for your illustrations, what do you splash out on? So money, for example, like how much you're spending, and where do you think it's not worth it? So where is it not worth marketing, but where is it, where have you seen success in marketing your work?
Well, in the past, I tried paid platforms where you paid a fee to have your illustrations, and I honestly don't know if it's worth it, because maybe I didn't like my illustrations there for a long period of time, to be sure, but I don't know. If you want to invest, I probably I prefer to invest my time in the, I don't know how to say this, but I prefer to spend part of my, I don't know, 1 hour a day sending emails or reaching out or creating illustrations, or I don't know, rather than paying a platform for the for having the space for my illustrations. Or you can invest. Another investment, I think, is having an agent. I have an agent, and I think it's worth it, because obviously it's another way to find clients and more work, but it's not something I don't, or at least this is my experience, it's not something that can guarantee all your income, or you can only use an agent as a marketing tool, let's say this way, because obviously they have other artists, and usually it takes a period of time to after you sign a contract with them. Usually it takes a bit for them to start finding work for you, and so I think it's great to have an agent, but you have to keep working by yourself and do your own promotion. Yeah, I think that, I mean, I agree. I think spending a lot of time yourself, just emailing the right people, is actually time well spent, actually, to send and communicate yourself. And I love your postcards tip that you gave earlier. I think that is so, that's so good. And one thing I would say, that especially something I've learned from Adobe Live, is the importance of community, and actually sharing your ideas with a group of people to say, hey, what do you think of my latest
project, because so many people have different ideas about ways that it can be used. And so they say, oh my gosh, you should contact this pharmaceutical company. This is exactly what they're doing right now. And it might be something you've never thought of. And so, yeah, I definitely think, never underestimate the side of community that can offer. And also, if you're working on your own on projects as well, and that you need an extra eye, I think Angus mentioned it in the chat earlier on, and just knowing that you're not on your own, that you're working with people as well, that helps, right? Because there's long hours of just doing the same things, and it can definitely eat you up, can't it, when you're doing a project and you think you don't like it, you don't like the look of it, you're sick of looking at it, you have to finish it, and you're sick of it. I'm like that with videos. I make a lot of videos and I hate having to watch myself back all the time. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. So it's I get it. I absolutely get it. So this is
I think that if you want to invest in something, I suggested to find a space physically where you can share a space with other creative people. I think that as soon as I started working, I find a co-working space with other creatives, and it was the best decision ever, because that gives you the opportunity to share ideas and to ask for suggestions, or just, I don't know, if you want to take a break from what you're working on and just have the someone that can look at it and give you advice. It's great. And also, you feel less alone in your
I love that. I always see photos of people in their studios and shared spaces, and it always looks like so much fun. And I think, I want to work there for the day. I want to use that coffee machine and go in. It always looks like so good, doesn't it? Really good tips though. This is great, Susanna. And there is 9 minutes left. I can't believe it. If you could have one ideal project, one dream project, we've got to know, what would it be? What would you choose?
This is difficult. Well, something that something that I would really love to do is working with an apparel brand to do something like, I don't know, patterns for fabrics, or something for, I don't know, an apparel collection. I don't know, something like that. But for for clothes, or also products for the house, like house decor, that kind of stuff. It would be really interesting.
Nice. Yeah, you could definitely mock something up in 3D to make it look, with apparel and things like that. Or there are loads of companies, aren't there, that can print your designs onto material that you can actually get something made and have that as your own project. Love it. Oh, this is so good. So you've covered so much today. I really love the fact that you've given so many tips for everybody on how to make a personal project to work for you, to actually develop this into paid work. But tips along the way. It's more than business advice. It's actually thinking about mental health as well, thinking about how you market your brand and yourself to other creatives, but also other companies. And so, and the last thing we haven't touched on is collaboration. Is there somebody that you would love to collaborate with? That you could, I don't know, is there a brand or something that you'd love to collaborate with?
Okay, I don't have something specific, but another project that I want to do is something related to food and packaging. So creating packaging for, I don't know, or also maybe the visual of I don't know, a restaurant or something like that. It would be great, yeah. But I don't have a specific brand, but also only the the topics. So something related to food, restaurant, cooking. It's something
I love it. I could see your work being on like M&S Little Cooks. You know, like the little, like the kids food that they do. I love that. And then you mentioned earlier on that you wanted to move away and kind of expand your work. So move away from children's illustrations and into other areas. So where will we see your next sort of personal projects taking you?
Well, obviously an app to take care of your dinosaur, for sure.
I love it. Love it. Love it. And so are you going to look to, was it that you wanted to illustrate for magazines? And was it those different projects that you wanted to focus on?
For magazines?
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier on you wanted to move away from kids books into a new area. What was that new area that you're going to go all in on?
Well, I think right now I'm focusing on websites and products. So, yeah, like I said before, I know that illustration can be used a lot on packaging and on the product itself. So that would be great. But also a lot of websites are starting to use illustration and rather than pictures. So I think there are a lot of possibilities there too. And the reason why I decided to shift a bit was because after so many years doing the same kind of projects, I love working on children's book because I usually have a lot of fun drawing, I don't know, animals and children. But after a while, it becomes a bit repetitive. So after especially 10 years when you do it, so I just needed to start doing something else, but also for a creative reason, because I wanted to have, for example, something that I love is working with a very limited color palette, like in this case, and it's not always possible to do that on picture books. So other kind of projects let me work with less colors and maybe use a more simple and simple and vector style. So it's a different. The style is not, my style is not so different between the two projects, but I think I give myself more freedom in those kind of projects rather than the children's books.
Love it. It's always good to grow and expand and try new things. So it's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing like what you do next. I'll be following you on Instagram as well and on Behance.
Oh, sure.
Susanna, it's been lovely talking with you today, and it's really lovely to hear everything that you've shared about how the works, the amazing things that you've worked on, but how you're also mentoring others, which I think is really, really great. So really great to hear. This week, everybody, we've got another Adobe live stream tomorrow, and tomorrow you're going to see it's all about the 3 art catillas with our very own Julia, Raquel and Tony, and they're going to be illustrating a prehistoric pigeon. I don't know much more than that at this time, so I need to dial in tomorrow to actually find out what this is about. I'm sure it's going to be a hoot, so that would be great. So that's tomorrow. And then on Friday, we've got Liz back to cover a great stream on Adobe Express, where she's going to be covering some educational posts for LinkedIn. So busy week, but tomorrow definitely join us for our prehistoric pigeon illustrating. Draw along with us. Bring your iPad. So get fresh.
Oh, sure.
Susanna, it's so lovely to welcome you to Adobe Live. Please come back soon. Let us know more about the mentoring, and you know, everything on your website. You know, let us know, because this is really great to meet you, and your work is amazing. It's
so
really, really lovely. Have a great rest of your day, everybody, and we'll see you all again same time tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
Bye.